everybody, welcome to my channel. Everything I say is alleged, my opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Latocha Scott went on another interview again. Her and the host spoke about the show, R&B, the Queens of R&B, and her newfound solo career. But somehow, she managed to degrade her sister again in another interview. Like, Latocha, how do you expect you and your sister to come back together and have the same relationship y'all have had before? It's never going to be the same. It's never going to be the same. You constantly making it look like Tamika has mental issues because her father left. Like, get the hell out of here. All little girls want their fathers in their lives, including you. And I'm sure you was affected as well. But you'll go on these radio interviews or whatever interviews and talk about how your sister was affected. Talk about how you was affected by your father leaving. Obviously, you're deflecting on your sister in order to avoid saying how it affected you that your father left. It's so unfortunate that you keep getting on here and painting the same narrative about your sister. And Candy, and Tamika. What's your story? Tell your story. When you're able to tell your story without putting other people down, then things will start moving in a different way for you. Tell your story without having to put other people in your story to make you look better. It's quite annoying. And it's seeming a little rehearsed if you ask me. So here's what she said about Tamika.
Of course, that is my blood sister. Yeah. And with me, I kind of wear my feelings on my sleeve at times when it comes to family, but I also know to keep family where it's supposed to be. So there have been times when, I'll keep it like this. When my father left, my sister went through a lot. There were times when she would act out in school. I know she even got kicked out of school a couple of times because she had mental issues when it comes down to, I want to say losing my dad because he's still here, but the fact that he walked away. So we've had to deal with certain things internally that I never spoke on. That's just not what I do,
That's not what you do, but you find it okay to speak on how your sister was affected emotionally and mentally by your father leaving on national TV, on all these radio interviews, because every chance you get, you don't want to speak on what happened to you internally. That's just weird, and it's unfair.
Then sometimes when people have to be held accountable, they don't want to be held accountable for the things that they do, and they act out.
If that ain't the pot calling the kettle black, what the hell are you talking about accountability? When you gonna hold yourself accountable for the things you have done? People could see right through folk who always pointing the finger.
Maneuver through it. I'm really interested to see myself how it's all edited and brought to life, to be honest.
I wonder if at this point she still hadn't told the group she was about to go into her solo deal. So that's why she wanted to see how it's all going to play out, because she thought she was going to get on here, have this solo deal, and everything was going to look peachy keen. But you ain't expect that other side to come out about you.
That whenever there's a project that's about to drop, Tasha like, oh, I'm about to do my own thing now. Y'all go ahead. Yeah, no, but what happens is, keep in mind, I've never been able to do. Every time I've tried to, even before we came back to do the tour, it was always something. And I just feel jaded, at times because of that. I was going to ask that. I do. I feel away. Because when God gives you a gift, I don't think that people should be able to put that in a box. I don't care who you are. And that's for anything.
After watching the show, it's clear that the ladies did not have a problem with you going off doing your solo career. The problem was you kept it a secret. You didn't even tell them. Somebody else had to tell them you was getting a solo deal.
Performances. Although I know, the only thing I will say about music, Candy didn't want to do music again. She said, don't ask her. She was reluctant. And no, she said she didn't want to. At all. New music. No new music. No, she just felt like she wanted to make sure that we sold the same amount of records. But for me, it's never been about record sales. It's always been about...
I don't know what new artist, what new group, what new singer, solo artist, gospel artist comes into this music industry and not want to look at their record sales and how much they're selling. Sure, you got talent, but your talent got to sell in this music industry. So what you saying about your music was never predicated on record sales is some BS. Could it be because your gospel album ain't selling? You sold 600 and something albums? Is that what it is? Allegedly? And Candy cleared it up for us on one of her speak on it, I'm sure, because she always clear things up. It's that she didn't want to make new music because she didn't want to mess up the legacy of Xscape. Like the host just brought to your attention.
First came out, we just said we're gonna hit the ground running. We want people to hear us. We wanted to be known. We wanted the people to understand that we could sing. And then it started to become about numbers. And with us, when we didn't think about the numbers, we just skyrocketed. And when you start thinking about numbers, you're starting to put a little bit too much in front of the cart in front of the horse. Like, just do what you love to do. People are going to embrace it. Yeah. So, to me, it's not about the numbers. With her, it is. And that's why she said, I don't want to do music. Because what happens when we fail? I'm like, how can we fail?
Well, listen, SWV, Coco said, we're not doing no new music because y'all didn't buy the last
that's true, too. Come on, y'all. Y'all got to support now.
Support.
Yeah.
You know, when your favorite.
The exact point Candy was trying to make. At the end of the day, Latocha, in my opinion, I feel like your interview should not talk about other people, putting other people down and how they didn't support you and all this other stuff. Talk about you and your accomplishments and your gifts and your solo career. Because you keep going on these interviews saying the same thing over and over and over. And your gospel solo album is getting lost in the sauce. You are a talented young lady. You can sing your behind off. However, if you keep putting this stuff on it, it ain't going to go far. That's all I got. Peace.